What's going on, boys and girls? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to the Fruit of Grisaia. So last time we finished up the sad, serious story kind of shit with Yuji and Machina, I think. I think that's what that session was about. I can't remember that well. But now we're back at the dorms, back in at the regular life, or so I thought. Apparently there's some more shit going down, and now we are hearing a story from Sachi that she got from Machina about some sort of explosion or something. I don't know. We're gonna figure it out right here. This probably won't be that long of a session because it's late at night, and I also need to work on my sleep schedule because I'm about to go do a charity stream in like not too long. So there's that. But let's jump into this. Alright, yeah, we got the sad music. We got the large text. This actually really messes up my recording. Like, it reduces the frames to like 1. But anyways, I better read fast. Machina was cheerfully humming her way down the street in front of the station, bags of fresh bread carefully cradled in her arms, when she noticed a shrill, irritable-sounding voice a little ways ahead of her. When she casually glanced up to find its source, Machina discovered that the voice belonged to a girl about her own age. The girl was walking down the sidewalk in the opposite direction, a man in a black suit following closely behind like an escort. Machina recognized that girl at once. It was her little sister. When the psychological trauma of Machina's kidnapping had left her unable to handle even the demands of everyday life, this girl had taken her place as the future leader of their clan. Although Machina thought of her as a sister, their fathers were different. She was the product of a lengthy tryst between Machina's mother and a man from the branch family. Unlike Machina, who took after her father with a round and chubby face, her sister's features had always been more refined, strongly resembling their mother. As a child, Machina had been envious of her appearance. But today that shapely face was contorted in irritation, an expression that spoke of stress and deep-rooted frustration. Why is there an echo to her voice? What is it, because it's supposed to be like a flashback? But wait, then why wasn't there any like echoes in Sachi's stories? Whatever. Read fast, boys and girls. I really can't keep it on these scenes or else it will mess up the recording. As the voices drew closer, Machina reflexively hid herself in the shadows. It was an old habit. If Machina hadn't taken ill, her sister never would have been placed in her current position. She'd probably be living normally in the branch family even now. At first glance, this pampered, ultra-privileged lifestyle might seem preferable to that. However, Machina had learned from Kazumi Yuji that a life totally free of inconvenience only hinders your growth as an individual. And today, she couldn't see the girl in front of her as anything but an unfortunate. Okay. Robbed of dreams, hopes, and freedom in exchange for empty luxury, she felt a twinge of something very much like pity. Machina had been the same way once. It was only after her arrival at Mihama that she came to understand the virtues of a normal existence. Biting her lower lip, she whispered a sympathetic apology inside her mind. I'm sorry, Sachin. Machina first learned she had a little sister when she was 5 years old. As the eldest daughter of the family's head, she'd been raised as an only child, but when she learned that her mother had borne a child to the branch family's second son only a year after her own birth, she was genuinely happy. I should state this, even so I really don't have the time to, or else the recording is going to get screwed up. I really don't understand the clan shit, like in any sort of like world, whether it be this or fucking Naruto. At the time, Makina didn't really understand the implications of her mother giving birth to the child of a man other than her husband, and the reasons why that child couldn't enter the main family or even meet her older sister were equally mystifying. Yeah, I feel the same way. I don't even understand. Like, what the hell? In the first place, Makina wouldn't even have learned of her sister's existence if not for a butler's careless slip of the tongue. But once she did know, Makina developed a burning curiosity toward the girl she'd never met. Every once in a while, she would pay her sister stealthy, quote-unquote, visits, observing her life from afar. Every time she spied on that little girl living a normal life as a member of the Branch family, the knowledge she had a sibling grew more real to her. Many times, Makina would come to the verge of calling out to her, only to hold back at the last moment. Looking at her sister clinging affectionately to her stepmother's waist, innocently begging her mommy for some treat, Makina knew that the sudden arrival of a big sister could very well shatter the girl's peaceful family. She could never bring herself to take that risk. But Makina didn't stop taking the time to go see her sister. Eventually, she invented a nickname for the girl she'd never spoke to, developing a one-sided make-believe relationship. Even the day she was kidnapped, just before going to her language class at cram school, she'd been secretly watching her little sister from inside her chauffeured car. I don't know why I struggle with that. Oh, shit. And that was the last time Makina had seen her sister. Only hours later, she was kidnapped. Her father was killed before her eyes, and she was consigned to a life in the hospital that would last many years. Makina knew the girl was her little sister, but the girl didn't know her. There was no real reason she had to hide. After a moment's hesitation, she emerged from her hiding place, resettling the bread in her arms, and just as she'd done in the old days when, in a slightly playful mood, she carefully forced a nonchalant expression onto her face, then began to walk toward her sister. The man in the business suit behind the girl was burdened with countless bags emblazoned with the names of expensive clothing stores, no doubt the result of an almost rudely indiscriminate shopping spree on Serena's part. The trip was probably less about buying clothes than it was venting built-up stress from heavy responsibilities and expectations placed on the family's future leader. Makina remembered doing something very similar herself even as a child. Been a while, huh? As they walked past each other on the sidewalk, Makina offered her sister a silent greeting inside her mind. They had passed each other by like this numerous times before, although only Makina knew it. Every time, it felt as though the words, "I'm your big sister," would slip out of her mouth. But they could never make it past the tip of her tongue, and today was no different. It just wasn't a possibility. Her sister's current position was founded on her absence. For another thing, Serena had almost certainly been told she was dead. Even if it was permitted, Makina wouldn't know how to begin speaking to her, let alone what they could talk about. Makina glanced over her shoulder, catching a glimpse of her sister being helped into a sleek black car stopped by the side of the road. It was reassuring to see her sister was being taken care of. But that thought reminded Makina that she herself no longer had a place in the house she was born into. She couldn't help feeling a slight prick of sadness. But today, she had a hard-won family of her own. The students at Mihama. They'd given her things her real family never could. Feeling her heart grow lighter, Makina clutched the warm bread against her chest and drew a deep breath, drinking up the comforting, goddammit, scent of wheat. A small smile spread across her face. Once this delivery was over, the day's work would be done. She wanted to run home and see everyone, to give Amane a call in Tokyo. Bioed by those thoughts, I hope that's how you pronounce that, she took a step forward, and in that instant... Alright. Makina felt a flash of heat against the back of her body, almost like a burst of powerful sunlight. Before she could even flinch, a thunderous roar rattled her eardrums so harshly it caused her physical pain. A fraction of a second later, fine particles of something like sand swept violently past her, flying down the asphalt like waves. And as the burning wind crawled over her, she saw the light downy hair on her forearms smoldering. With a strangled half scream, Machina squeezed her eyes shut just before the massive wave of heat knocked her down onto the sidewalk. For a moment, she couldn't process what had just happened. Crumpled up on the hard concrete, listening to the grit gliding across the asphalt, the answers came to her slowly and haltingly, as if filtered through the translation of a clumsy interpreter. An explosion? It took a full 2 seconds for those words to float to the surface of Machina's mind. She picked herself onto her knees, disbelieving, telling herself it couldn't be. But when she turned around, she came face to face with harsh, undeniable reality. Her dumbfounded gaze found the luxury black sedan her sister had stepped into moments before. It was lying upside down, all but consumed in bright red flames. Oh, thank God I can take a break because I actually have a solid 60 FPS right here. This is just beautiful gameplay. As I was saying earlier, I don't understand clans, but holy shit did this take a turn. Like, it can only go downhill from here. Only to go uphill, hopefully. Huh? No, this can't be real. This time, her mind couldn't catch up at all. She didn't want it to. She didn't want to accept the reality before her eyes. Just a moment ago, she'd seen her sister from the side. A slightly irritated expression on her face. So close she could have reached out and touched her. I thought I heard something on my phone, my bad. Many thoughts were circling frantically around inside her head, as her mind tried desperately to make something like sense out of all the situation. But it was all fragments, nonsense, and noise. There were no answers she could accept. Somebody was yelling into her ear. She could understand that it was the voice of someone who was worried about her, still sitting there glued to the ground. But she couldn't muster the focus to decipher their words, much less respond to them. Machina didn't move an inch from that spot, until, at last, the voice said, "We need to get out of here," and firm hands pulled her to her feet. Wow. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm glad there are no graphic images there. I was kind of worried. I felt things were going to take a turn for the gory, like in Sachi's story. That was horrific.
最初は病院に連れて行こうとしたらしいのですが、マキちゃんが病院はどうしても嫌だっていうものだから、ここに連れてきたそうです。
I guess I can't blame her. She's not physically injured, right?
はい、右腕に赤くなる程度の軽い火傷を負っていますが、冷やせばきれいに治ります。ですが。
Yeah, however, she's gonna have that mental damage. The psychological damage is gonna be more severe.
そのようです。
こんな時、私のような女はただただ無力を痛感するわ。
Wow, dude, it took 190 episodes to figure out how useless Yumiko here is. Holy shit. Sakaki's words express my current feelings to the letter. I don't know what to do. I don't know how I'm supposed to talk to her. I don't even know what sort of expression I should have on my face when I go see her. Approach this the wrong way, and I might well end up making things even worse. Thoughts like these rob us of the ability to even try. But I suppose there is only one thing I can do, small as it may be. Holy shit, we ran into this call. You're on top of things as always. Where'd you hear about that? God damn it! Yeah, I am. It's a membership-based information exchange where your sort of people gather, right? Something wrong? Anyway, how much information did you manage to gather over there? Oh, we're finally gonna see what Ichigaya is really all about. What they do. Yet? Does that mean there's a possibility of initiating active observation in the future?
それはあなたの知る必要のないことです。
Damn. Julia.
そんな声を出してもダメ。
Well, shit. Can I come to your place?
ダメ。
I just wanted to have some of your home cooking, my bad, for the first time in a while. Still no good?
そんなこと言ったって、ダメなものはダメなんだからね。
Damn, this is undeniable proof that Yuji is a sweet talker. When you refuse me that stubbornly, it's as good as admitting there's a high chance the problem's going to get worse. Does this have anything to do with you not picking up your phone lately? The news shows to seem to be pushing a theory that this was an act of terrorism motivated by the construction of a nuclear power plant. What's the real story?
答えられないわ。
I see. Sorry, I'm not looking to harass you here, but can you answer 2 more questions? Whatever information you can give me is
言っ
fine.
てみなさい。聞くだけは聞いてあげる。
Alright. How is Makina's younger sister doing?
ニュースで流れている通りよ。命は取り留めたものの、予断を許さない状況が続いているわ。
Oh shit, I thought back in the anime she died. Will she make it?
なんとも言えないわね。皮膚や臓器の移植が必要なレベルだとの情報が入っているし、近いうちに海外に移送して提供者を待つという噂もあるわね。
Shit, I actually have an idea about where this might be heading. And I'm not saying that, like, because I know from the anime, I actually don't know. Like, pretty much from here on out, I really don't know what happens in Makina's story. I never paid attention to that. It was kind of boring. I see. I'm hoping it's not boring here. I really hope.
質問はそれだけ？
No, there's one other. On an unrelated topic. This is the one thing I really want to know.
でしょうね。いいわ。言ってみなさい。
If Makina's sister ends up losing her current position due to her injuries, is there a possibility Makina will be expected to resume that role?
その回答は拒否するわ。
Wow, bitch. Let me rephrase it then. Is there a possibility Makina is going to be in danger going forward?
あなた、どこまで嗅ぎつけているの？
A lot? Essentially nothing. Never mind. Essentially nothing. My nose is just twitching, that's all. It was basically a leading question.
そうね。このままあなたに憶測だけでおかしな行動を取られても迷惑だし、正直なところを話しておくけど、イ
Wait,
ギリスマキナに危険が及ぶ可能性は決して低くはないわね。
what's the danger? Is it what I'm thinking of? Like the obvious thing?
私の見立てでは 70% の確率で何らかの接触があるでしょうね。
Yeah, but in what way? I don't get
だ
it.
けど、その件に関しては近いうちにあなたに声がかかる可能性が高いわ。だから今は余計なことをしないでちょうだい。通常通り命令に備えて待機していなさい。
I think this is actually where things started getting confusing and just really hard for me to pay attention to back in the anime, so I'll pay attention here, and I'm going to ask a lot of questions, and I'm going to complain, because I feel like things are only going to go downhill. In other words, no independent use of force outside the range of self-defense.
その通り。犬は犬らしく、主人が紐を引くまで小屋でおとなしくしていなさい。怪しい人が来たら、ふてくされてないで、ちゃんと吠えるのよ。
Can I really trust you on this?
飼い主を疑うな。それがいい犬の第一条件よ。あの朝子でさえ、命令無視なんて数えるほどしかしなかったんだから。
Huh. Never heard these lines in Full Metal Alchemist. Huh. Alright. Try counting them.
1回、2回、
Oh,
3
what are we
回、
counting?
4
I brought up something completely different.
7
What are we counting? Even Asako, you can count the number of times she outright ignored orders on her fingers. Oh, okay. You're running out of fingers fast.
うるさいな。あの女の真似をしたってろくなことにならないわよ。いいから命令があるまでおとなしくしてるの。いい？わかった？
I guess. Yes, mommy.
あんたみたいな可愛くない子、産んだ覚えはないわよ。話はそれだけ？もう切るわよ。
Wow. Yeah, thanks. I'll be in touch. Well then, what to do? It's clear that things are going to get troublesome in a number of ways, but as always, I'm in the dark on the specific details. If JB's telling me to do nothing, that's probably the optimal choice at the moment. Even so, that doesn't make it any easier to accept. Get moving before you start thinking too much was a favorite saying of my master's. But JB's fond of acting on the basis of incomplete information is like asking for disaster. For now, it might be wisest just to stay at Machina's side as much as possible, while preparing myself for the possibility of an emergency. There's no need to overthink this. I know what I want to protect. I can see it clearly now. Ideally, I'd love to extinguish the source of this fire before the sparks spread in our direction. But if that's not a possibility, I just need to be ready for when things do get ugly. After all, you won't find many guard dogs with nastier fangs than mine. I've been sharpening these teeth a very long time for this exact purpose. Teeth made to catch prey by the tail, drag them close, and rip out the windpipe in one bite.